Coming off a huge meta-shaking balance update last week, this week's patch update is just as crazy, this time for the cost reduction meta.
Is this crack?
Now, when Mobius was released, he instantly had a huge impact on the metagame, taking out cost reduction cards like Zabu, Sarah, and Death with his ability. Well, it looks like we're gonna see him a lot less. His stat line remains the same, but his ability changes from an ongoing effect to on reveal. Until the end of next turn, your costs can't be increased and your opponent's costs can't be reduced. So now you can't just play him on the board early and leave him there to shut down your opponent's cost reductions. You need to time him just right. Drop him on turn 5 to mitigate those turn 6 floods, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot more skill to play Mobius and Mobius now.
You're of no danger to me.
Look, Ravonna Renslayer was dead on arrival, felt awkward to play on curve, and the week after she released, Mobius hammered that final nail in her proverbial coffin, right? So this buff is very much expected and needed. It's a buff that a lot of people have suggested make her cheaper to play. So Ravonna's ability remains the same, but she goes from a 3-3 to a 2-1. Hey, turn 5 Zola, negative dex, let's go! Okay, this is the big one. So with the old wave, you would use her to cheat in high cost cards early, right? In an offensive manner. But defensively, you could also shut down flood decks on turn 6 with Wave's ability. Not anymore. Wave goes from a 3-3 on reveal, all cards cost 4 until the end of next turn to 3-5. On reveal, all cards cost a maximum of 4 until the end of next turn. And what this means is Wave will no longer increase card costs at all. Wave will only reduce cards that cost 5 or more down to 4. So basically, they've removed her ability to tech against opponents playing many small cards on the later turns.
I don't want to hurt you.
Sandman goes from a 5-3 to a 5-4. His ability remains the same. So with Wave no longer being a viable tech against Flood, Sandman is here to ruin your fun. Now with one extra power.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
That's the coolest name ever!
Negasonic Teenage Warhead gets a much needed buff here, going from a 3-5 after any card is played here, destroy this card and that card, to 3-2 after an enemy card is played here, destroy it once per game. I mean, they had to make this change, right? No one was playing Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Now though, you have an interesting counter card to protect winning lanes. She's gonna be good in decks that maintain initiative, because ideally you want her as a surprise card, right? You drop her in a lane where your opponent has played their Wong or just played Shuri to shut down their upcoming combos. Kinda like a poor man's Alioth, where you need the initiative and it only works on one card. Speaking of the giant fart cloud, small change here, Alioth now only destroys enemy cards that are still on the opponent's side. So this basically only affects cards that flip to the other side of the board, like Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. So yeah, if a Goblin reveals first and goes to your side of the board, Alioth won't be able to destroy him. It's okay! Minor adjustment here, just like Mojo and Dazzler, Ant-Man's ability now procs when your side of the location is full, as opposed to needing 3 other cards in that location. So he basically buffs himself on Space Throw. So how do these changes affect your decks? Hey, let me know in the comments.